Welcome people to the Thirsty Turtle Podcast.
Yes,
we are back, better than ever. We have a prime guest, the man,
with the plan.
the myth, the legend, AJ motherfucking Hiles. How you doing, fella?
I'm doing great.
Welcome to the
How are
podcast.
you, man?
Oh man, so now this has been greatly anticipated for the last couple months, man. And I'm sure it's gonna live up to the hype. So I guess first and foremost, man, what's been going on with you?
It's been a whirlwind, man. It's just been, dude, I don't even know where to start. Got promoted at work, then finally got the vehicle as you saw. Got my license back together, and the only downside is that while you're gone, my grandmother actually finally passed away. But
sorry to hear that, man.
Best as it was,
How
died
old
her
was the
sleep
lady?
peacefully. 76.
Oh, she had a good ass life, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially towards the end, you know, just as well as you want it, just peacefully in and out,
right.
done.
Just drifting to the next realm.
Yep, as it should be for all of us.
Oh yeah.
Dog, so like what? The last time all three of us have got together was, it had to be 7 months ago.
I think it was
7.5.
So,
Because,
yeah, I think it was like.
yeah, because it was about a week or two before I shipped out, you know. So.
Yeah, we caught you fuckers at the beach.
Yeah.
Oh
You
man.
stole the damn golf cart.
Yeah. Like, nope, that's mine. Donut me.
Man, so, what's your plan? What's your 10-year plan?
My 10-year plan, dude. Right now, 10-year plan would be, you know, getting married, having kids, build my house in Tennessee.
Growing a fine ass beard.
Oh yeah, you know. I'd like to keep it this length all through, so hopefully by, you know, this time next year it'll be, you know, I'll be.
Sure, you're gonna be a 40-year-old man looking back at this video and be like, oh, I was only ever able to grow the goatee.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yep.
no.
So long ago. In a galaxy far, far away.
Far, far away.
When did you
man.
propose?
Technically haven't actually proposed yet. We just both know.
Oh,
all right,
you
we're
know what's
getting
going on.
married. So, not officially she's my fiance, but that's what.
That's where it's at.
Yeah, that's where it's at this point.
Are you a little nervous for that? Like, or do you know it's gonna be cool?
I am painfully waiting for the day. I've since January. It's been 2 years
Okay.
since I've known her.
Okay.
There you go, man.
Yeah.
Shit, where'd you meet the fine lady?
I actually met. All right, story time. So what happened was I just got out of a really bad toxic relationship,
Okay.
and let's be completely honest with everybody watching and with you guys.
Shalom.
New guy named Walsh. He actually did what I thankfully did not. And
Walsh.
Motherfucking Walsh,
Motherfucking
man.
Walsh.
There's a teacher named Walsh out there.
oh
Guy's a stud.
yeah, this guy was too. He was pretty tall. I mean, he was a lady good.
Mm.
But
Damn.
after that, I was already had one in. I was just smoking my last cigarette. I was listening to the Fray.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It was time for me. Well, Walsh, I've known him before, but never really talked to him very much. He decided to take me fishing that night. I was about to walk up. He just caught me. It's like, all right, might as well. I met my buddy Toon. He's actually gonna be my best man at my wedding.
Okay.
He was actually dating Alora right then. It was February. He actually, Alora actually dumped him through a text. Only dated for a month.
Hey.
Just felt like a brother kind of thing. She didn't know. It was
Right.
It was her first time dating.
Okay.
Well, he is now married to the other sister. Them two decided to get me.
Shiesty.
Yeah.
Shiesty.
So that's how we met in Virginia when I was in the Army. So, and we've been going strong ever since, honestly. I mean, it's been ups and downs. I've made plenty of mistakes throughout it, but
as you do.
that woman,
that's relationship right there, man. You learn from it, man.
Absolutely. But that woman, I swear, if I told her, hey, I gotta walk through hell and back, I need someone to do it with me, she'd say, okay. I mean, No shoes.
That's the type of lady you need, man.
Yeah,
Just
she-
to know someone got your back at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So how was that during the army? Like you having a relationship, what was that struggle like? Because I know Tanner has gone through his ups and downs with being away for so long.
That the only time I
It hits a little different. That long
does.
distance really does put a different perspective.
The
in.
hardest I've ever had was when I was in the field and for 3 or 4 weeks, and just I didn't realize until like the 3rd week. I was like, okay, I really do love her because it doesn't hit you straight on. It kind of just builds upon itself
Slowly
with the
goes
memories.
Right.
It kind of just, once you start thinking of her a little more with certain things, it's just, I want to get back. I want to get back.
Right.
And it actually, it changes you for the better, honestly. It gives you a better perspective on life when it comes to people that you love. Because you finally cherish who they are.
Is that Alex?
Another
No,
guest
that's
star.
not Alex. Yeah, that's Alex.
Speaking of turtles,
Who in my room right now, man?
you might as well stand up. You're on the camera. You might as well say hi. Speaking of Mrs.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's just Lex.
That's just Lex.
Obviously not a human. So
No, absolutely not.
Oh, never.
Oh,
it
no.
was a human. We lied.
I'm sorry, people.
I was trying to be completely honest. You know who the honest one in a relationship is now. But speaking of which, since she made a grand entrance, how's everything been with her, and what do you think future-wise?
Well, man, let's set it in stone, right? All right, so man, right now, where I'm at is I'm gonna be going down to Hawaii, you know, and she's a junior currently. So with
College
that,
or
no, I'm high school.
all right?
So you know, there's about a year and a half before she is out, so you can't make any immediate plans, right?
Oh,
and
yeah.
I can't get any off-base housing until I'm an E4 or I marry her. Now the question is, what I'm juggling is whether or not I throw the ring on the lady, and you know, that's one of those things as a 19-year-old man. It's just like,
That's a hard thing to weigh.
especially not knowing what are the outcomes, you know, and I would say I'm still indecisive on the exact way I need to go about it, because right now, personally, I would say I'm in the situation. It's like, all right, so I know what the last 6 months have felt like being away. Come home once a year, see her, you know, dude, that would put almost 95% of relationships through the gutter. Getting to see each other, 14 days, 30 tops if you get your leave days in,
Right.
and then you go back. And you do that 5 times only over the next 5 years. That's heavy.
That
That's
is.
hard. That's hard.
And then you're also weighing the other side where it's like, all right, throw a ring on her, get the house down, you're living together off base, man.
Get that BAH.
Oh yeah.
Motherfucking BAH, man. And
1,400.
yeah, it's beautiful. Collect that dough on the side.
Mm.
So right now it's just I'm still weighing my options, to say the least.
That's
you
a
know?
good way to do it. I mean, I'm only 3 years. Yeah, 3 years older than you. I'm young, Mary, in this day and age.
Yes.
And so you got plenty of time, but also don't listen to others. Which is the opposite of what I'm about ready to say.
Oh, hold on. All right, y'all keep talking.
But this is advice for you when you're in a relationship, if you aren't yet. People will say out there, don't give your whole heart to someone when you're dating them. That's not what you should do.
Right.
Just, no. Every relationship I've ever been in, I've given my whole heart. I've been severely burned by it.
I think it's important.
If you don't take the shot the best, if shooting with one eye closed, you're gonna miss 50% of what you need to see. let that person know who you are completely. Don't
hide everything.
Yeah, don't hide everything.
That's
don't
gonna...
hide all of your love that you have for that person,
Mm-hmm.
and be like, no, this is just a pre-trial. No, love that person. I'm not talking, sex-wise. I'm just meaning,
like with your heart, with your soul, love that person.
Just with everything that you can, be that person that if you love her, that you need her to be.
Mm-hmm.
And vice versa. My old lady is the exact same way. She has loved me unconditionally, and it's worked out for the best because we didn't, leave strings.
Right.
But I would say that would be my best advice for a relationship. Just give your whole heart to something. Don't half-ass it. Just don't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I haven't had like a real relationship yet. 'Cause, I'm only 16.
Oh,
so it's like, the thing is with being young, it's hard to give that whole love because, you're all so young.
And the motherfucker back.
Yeah,
Here we go.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Yeah, like you're all...
One of the main turtles.
His name is
T-Right.
T-Right.
Ah.
T-Easy.
So
That iced tea.
Catch me in the loop. Where
All
we
right.
at?
What I was saying is, if you're in a relationship, don't do what others say that you shouldn't by give your whole heart to someone. Even if you're dating them. You will get burned if it's not
100%.
Yeah.
You're not throwing it in. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Take what everyone says with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
That's what you gotta do.
Honestly. And in your relationships, take things with a grain of salt. You realize you have, let's put it this way, God only gives you enough time to breathe your next second. That's it. The next second after that is not guaranteed.
Absolutely.
So, if you're going to give your whole heart to someone, you better do it now.
Mm-hmm.
Don't wait until you're going to get married or something like that. And like I told him, I'm not talking about sex. I'm talking about
everything.
Your soul.
Real emotion. And not just real emotion, real passion. Passion is an action and an emotion. That's literally all that I had for that. That's all that you were missing.
Right. And that's very real. It's just at this point in this day and age, right? It's the question whether or not it's never. All right, I'm giving my 100% because you can only tell from your heart. It's the questioning of the other person's soul and whether or not they're doing the same thing, and that.
Right.
And I guess that's what faith is, and having trust within each other. So, change the topic just a little bit, but 3 qualities you look into for a lady.
I always tell people this doesn't count as one of the 3. Looks are amazing, but looks is secondary to the 3 I'm about ready to give you, if I can think of them.
I'd say, looks is the first thing that you notice.
Looks is the third thing that you notice, so it does help, but it's not. I'm looking at a few things here. 1, okay, how are you managing your life? Financially, physically, that kind of thing. 2, what's your plan? Because plans may collide. I was lucky we both wanted to go to Tennessee. I might be wanting to go to Tennessee, but somebody else wants to go to, Florida.
Right, and that's
those things
like...
don't mix. Look at what their plan is, and also look how she treats her dad. Look at the relationship that those 2 have, and I say that because the same thing goes with guys. Look how they treat their mom. Because that's the closest male relationship you are ever gonna have before you.
That's a really interesting way to look at that. I've never heard that.
I've always heard that women always need to look at how men treat their moms. That's usually true.
You wanna know what's crazy off of that is in psychology they say men will gravitate towards women in their life that act the most like their mom, or vice versa. And then Riley, I feel like she's unique in her own way because I I don't see that necessarily.
No,
Like,
neither do
like
I.
I like somehow subconsciously started drifting towards someone that acted like my mom, but maybe it's some weird
Maybe, and plus there is the blindness of being in love and actually loving that
Right.
person. You might not see those things quite yet
Yeah.
until you're actually living together and it's a day-to-day basis.
Mm,
So
that's
it's,
true.
Well,
it's a shot in the dark, and you miss the 100% of shots you don't take.
back to the thing about living on base with her or marrying her. See, I think that is definitely something you should wait for. And I say
Yes.
that because, you know, when she's young, and say you wanted to marry her when she is 18 or, you know, when she's able to get married, she doesn't have a life plan yet. And so
That's real.
taking her out of her environment and moving her to Hawaii, it changes
that
everything.
Is a huge thing.
Because then
Especially
it's like,
if she hasn't traveled, stuff
Right.
like that. Plus, you guys are both extremely young. She hasn't even completely developed what she wants to do yet.
That's real, and she
Just
could
building
do
off of-
anything,
Yeah,
man.
she-
Right now,
her life's an open book.
Yes.
I mean, pages unwritten. Going back to that one girl song, I can't remember her name right now, but you know what I'm talking about.
yeah, sure.
Just live life one day at a time, because that's the only one that you have guaranteed. And
That's real, man.
at the same time, the other step is have a plan and having a contingency plan for everything.
Yeah.
You know, give 100%, but don't expect 100%.
Oh yeah,
Back
yeah.
time.
Give all your energy towards that thing, but
But that doesn't mean
doesn't-
dependent. That doesn't mean someone that solely needs you to function.
No, you don't want two things in a relationship. You don't want to feel as if you need that person or they need you, because that means they're going to be dependent. And they need to be independent of their own self.
right.
The second thing, if I can remember it, completely lost it.
And that's the way it
That's
goes,
okay.
man.
That's the way
that's
it
the,
is.
That's the way it goes. Gotta love a mind, man.
Yep.
So, that's where I'm at currently, you know. But definitely got this next couple years to really figure it out and see. Because the first 6 months was really, you know, it's an adjustment period, right? And
Well, unfortunately, in your case, it wasn't normal. See, in a typical like the way you typically would have went about it, you would have come home.
right after
You would have
boot
come
camp.
home after boot camp, and then you would have come home after A school, and then you would have come home after C school.
Well, I didn't come home until I got on my first duty station.
Oh,
I didn't
really?
come
How
home
long
after
was that?
didn't come home after basic, didn't come home after AIT,
Oh.
didn't even come home 3 weeks
So what? That was
after I
6
got my
months.
duty station.
Were you not able to?
Yes and no. My drill sergeant in AIT was an asshole, and I mean that. Lady was 4'6",
Oh, so she had little.
fastest
person.
runner I ever knew, but I swear she had little dick syndrome or something. But she got you for everything. So she got me because, no, she got one guy because his socks were too high.
Oh.
The only way you were gonna see that is if you actually go, let me pull up your pants.
Oh
Your
man.
socks are black. You're not allowed to do that. I looked there, and this is what got me out of being able to go home after AIT and have Gold Pass, was because I told her, and I pulled up the article. The Sergeant Major of the Army at the time, Sergeant Major Daly, one of the best men I've ever seen, finally said, "No, you're allowed to wear black socks."
Oh, and she
Instead of the
didn't like
greens.
that. She didn't like that you
She
disagreed with
didn't
her.
know.
Oh, okay.
She didn't know. And so we actually had an argument. Little E1 against the staff sergeant. And I was like, drill sergeant, this is now the new code. And she wasn't having it. So she counseled me. You can't have any counselings, and you have to be 100% on your PT test and able to have Gold Pass. That was our standards for being able to have it after AIT. So I wasn't able to have that because of that. That being said, it was, I want to say, a year before I went home.
It's heavy, man.
Yeah.
How was that pulling into your driveway for the first time after that?
Dude, not even my driveway. I crossed the Ohio border, the Ohio
Right,
River,
it's
and I'm
true.
like, hell yeah, motherfuckers, I'm home.
Just scream into the world, like.
Dude, I rolled the windows down. I was screaming for like 3 miles. I missed my turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can say the same with me and Tanner. Like when we were on FaceTime when he checked his orders, and at first he saw that he was it said Groton. He was like, "Fuck, I'm staying in Groton."
And that place, God bless anyone in Groton, but that place is not made for my soul. That place
Right.
is gloomy,
No.
cloudy.
No. I got state. My AIT was in Fort Eustis. Guess where my first duty station was?
Where?
Across the street.
Huh.
Tell me how pissed I was. They
all the
switched my
places you
orders.
could
I
go.
was going to Germany for my first duty station.
Oh.
I was so excited. I was like, "Oh
I'm
hell
going to
yeah!
Germany,
I'm going. I'm drinking. It's 18 there.
Right.
Let's go!" And then they switched it Fort Eustis. I'm like, "Son of a bitch!"
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, did your heart drop?
It did. It honestly did. But now looking back, we're in the Metalora.
Oh, and that's the thing is like it was cemented in time that you were going to meet her
Yeah.
at that place.
There are no coincidences, and
No,
Preaching,
there
man.
was
there
a-
are no coincidences.
Yeah.
I've been saying this, man.
Yep.
like
Backstory: when he got back into Hideaway Hills for leave, it actually I was just driving up the road, and also I'm like, wait a minute. So if it wasn't for me being a little late of where I was going, I would have never seen him.
right, and we were just walking back from the car to my house.
Yep.
Like we just on no coincidence shit.
And
Are
that's
you
the-
on Osage? Or are you
Yeah,
down that?
I'm on Osage.
You were a couple houses down from him, man.
I am. Dude.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I live all the way like so. You know when you come down Osage and you see like the four house signs. It's like a little turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I live all the way at the bottom of that.
So you're in the village, Lewis.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, that point.
Dude.
Dude.
You know the if you keep walking the way that you guys were walking, that house that sits on Nootka right there at the corner.
At the Y.
Oh yeah.
Where it
Yeah,
Y.
that's
Oh,
my
that's
house.
your house?
Yeah.
Oh,
that big
sweet.
one right there with the yard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my house.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
many football games in that,
Dude.
in that yard, dude. You would have no idea.
Absolutely.
But, no, and to piggyback off of what he said, man, is just the fact that I had to, once I saw that Groton happened, right, or I thought Groton happened, I was just like, instantly looking at like the words that I preach to people, and I have to, don't be a false prophet, you know, like this has already happened. There's a reason I'm here. I'm going to meet the people I'm meant to meet because there is no coincidences. There's going to be a group of people here that are going to affect my life in a way that I couldn't perceive. So instantly I had to just let go and be like, all right.
Groton, like you were okay. You were cool with it. Like a minute after seeing that.
Yes.
But
and then I saw a boat. And I'm like, let me go on my orders, right? And I checked my orders, and the first thing I saw was aloha and congratulations. Dude, there was 20 people in this room, man.
he screamed, "Hell yeah, dude!" I screamed
man
at
was
the
louder
top
than
of
me.
my lungs. I was screaming in the house. No one was home, so I knew I could scream as loud as I want. But yeah, man, that was probably like one of the most surreal moments of my life is hearing that on no coincidence shit you got to Hawaii. Like that's
Yeah, man. That's great, dude.
And definitely, like, you already know what I'm trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that, like, everything, like, I thought I was going to get down there at 28, and now I'm getting down there at 18. Like...
And now you get to see if it's for you before you even make the commitment.
Right. Right. And,
Which
you
is
know,
absolutely great.
I can only speculate so much on how amazing it's going to be until I truly live it, and then I get to come back to this motherfucker and be like, it's the shit.
and it's going to be.
Yeah.
We already know that. Like there's so many people saying Hawaii is a terrible place to live. Especially on the Big Island, there's nothing to do. But like that's where our souls are.
Yeah,
Like,
mean,
that's where we-
live in Hideaway Hills. Oh, no.
Exactly.
Alright, and let's think about that for a minute, you know, so, like, we spent a lot, and by the way, for y'all who don't know this man, and my relationship, like, this was my first friend ever, like, since, like, kindergarten I met this man, and, you know,
Facts.
since day one, right? We was in the woods. We were playing cops and
I
robbers.
still got that rock for you, by the way. I painted my own. So.
This man coming in clutch. And dog is just so you set up all these variables, right? Like, all right, I'm out always outdoors fishing, just tubing, doing whatever. I am always in an outside element, and that right there, realize obviously it's going to make me want to pick a job that's in the outside, but then throw in the variable, hey, I never moved to Hideaway, and I was in the city. My life and what my plans and goals probably were going to be completely different, so, and then you think, oh, damn, there's a reason why the family, God was like, you know what, let's move these people down because I know the way it's going to affect this person's life and set up avenues for it. Like, my mom wants to start a cleaning business in Hawaii now. She wants her own outcome.
There you go.
The parents are really thinking about moving to
Wait,
Hawaii.
well, before that, your dad was completely against it. He was like, I'm not moving to Hawaii.
Mom was like...
And then he got a text from her being like, I'm done with Ohio.
Oh.
I'm moving to Hawaii. And then that created a train effect of like Uncle Steve was like, okay, I might set up a business down there.
And here's the crazier part, man. Here's the fucking crazier part. I got that text at 6 o'clock that morning. Fuck Ohio, Hawaii. It's cold as balls here. Hawaii, I'm in. And then 3 hours later,
he checks his orders and he's going to Hawaii.
And that's the question, right? So like
there are no fucking coincidences.
Like, did she?
Ever.
Does that mean that she wrote that in time?
Because, like, let's say our energy, right? And, like, I believe in manifestation and all this stuff, right? So, what if our energies were already cementing the idea that we're going, and then her bringing her own unique energy into it,
Just
further
push
push
it
the
over
idea.
the edge.
I'm not a terribly big vibe person, but it's the only way that I can really describe it. It's like putting a bug in someone's ear. After a while, they're going to notice it, and they're going to keep that idea, and when something finally snaps, or not really snaps, but breaks through for them, they have that to fall back on.
Right.
So you are therefore making sure that there's something there for them to lean back on that can help.
Oh, yeah, because, like, she could, like, Tiff could just stay in Ohio the rest of her life. But if she wanted to, the option is there to go and live her life in Hawaii.
Exactly.
And that's the beautiful thing too, right? So like, let's say me and him both get our degrees, and he's going to do his aircraft mechanics, and then he's also going to do forestry, and then I do criminal justice and forestry. Let's say Hawaii doesn't work out, we can go anywhere in the United States as a fallback, but we gotta see if we can plant the seed.
Yep.
Because that changes this entire family's cycle of Ohio. It's been Ohio since day one. You take this part and the legacy shifts. We are now on an island in Hawaii. The grandkids one day, as we're grandparents on a porch somewhere, just rocking back and forth, smoking all pipes, living up the dream. We're gonna look at this little Garden of Eden we created, see little kids running around. We're just gonna be like, oh my gosh, we set up a whole new avenue for these kids, right?
It's just creating such a better life. Like, life in the city, life in the States is, it's so much.
It's not for everyone.
It's not for everyone, and like us moving out there, we're starting the best life we can for our future generation.
Well, what we think. At the end of the day, it's just what we believe would be the best. And
I mean, what's the best way for children to raise though? They're right by the ocean. They have a Garden of Eden to live in, and our kids are gonna have their own little house.
Learn how to grow.
They're gonna learn how to grow food.
Just be in nature and understand and appreciate the value of what is happening.
They're gonna get a work ethic.
You're gonna be a Honolulu hillbilly is what you're gonna be.
That's so true. I mean, we're gonna take our roots like that.
That's gonna be our one of our first merches. Honolulu
Oh, dude,
hillbilly.
that actually be really funny.
Hey, I'm going to bed if anybody takes off and you open that door, make sure it's locked.
Okay.
All right, I got you. That was Papa Steve. He was showing his way around the world. Anyway, man.
Just walked in on us turtles.
Like a herd of turtles.
We're a herd of turtles.
Oh man, so Dude, it's just crazy the impact that is happening right now. And I feel like, personally, there's just something so much bigger going on. Because without even the seed of the idea of going to Hawaii, my mom's like in a whole nother avenue. And that's something I created and him created for this whole person that we weren't even thinking about yet.
Right, and not even that. Like, to add on to that, my parents are now thinking about it. Christina is like, living in Hawaii would be pretty cool. And I think my dad wants to move to Florida, right, when he's older. So he can be in the sun, he can fish his days away. I think that
You're
will
surrounded by water.
Yeah.
Actually, we went to Outer Banks, my fiance and her family.
Outer Banks is
We
really
took
cool.
a drone. You can get a drone now with an attachment that basically drops whatever. And we hooked our line to it and drove it past the sandbar. We were catching sand sharks.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, we took it hundreds of yards out, dropped it, brought the drone back,
Dude.
landed it. We were going night fishing like that.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is innovative as fuck,
Yeah.
dog.
That could have been dangerous.
Outer Banks hillbillies.
One of them sand sharks could have been a little too powerful and just yoinked it.
They're only yay big.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I was holding this thing in my hands. It was just like,
So what? You would grab the line.
going from bluegill to that. I mean,
Yeah, that's awesome.
Man, that's like turning $1 to $1 million. Just like that,
Like
man.
that.
That must have been so, like...
it was so
The
surreal.
first time it
Yeah.
worked, man, you were just probably like, oh.
Yeah, because all of a sudden you see because it bobs back and forth with waves. There's a lot of pull, and all of a sudden this thing just goes.
Right.
And that's
I'm
the
like,
thing too, like
That's mine.
you can only do so much casting out
Oh,
from
yeah,
the beach, man.
I mean, you can only catch, especially in Outer Banks where we were at, where there's a bunch of people. I mean, you're barely catching anything. We caught a
Right.
squid.
Hey, that's pretty cool.
Hey,
Which is actually
calamari,
pretty cool.
calamari, man, that's what you got. Is that octopus or squid? Calamari,
Squid.
squid.
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
squid.
man, I had squid the other day at Red
Calamari
Lobster.
is really good.
Dude,
You name it, I've probably had it. If it's a meat, I've had it.
this man was eating geese, man, for a good minute, dog.
Yeah, I was.
When he was
Did you
chilling.
hunt? Did you-
Yeah, I was homeless for a little while.
Oh.
In Newport News, Virginia, there's the James River.
Mhm.
Well, I'm like a mile away from James River Bridge, and you go down the hill on the certain part of land. There's a little cove. I made a little brick furnace because there was an old building that fell, and so I
You
made
just
a brick furnace, and I bought a slingshot. And I
Oh my... Dude, that's so cool.
grabbed them up out of the water, plucked them through everything in to the river, and plucked it, gutted it,
Dude,
put it in there.
that's so cool.
I made a little stick spit after a while, got some salt. Dude, I was
Did
it's the best I ever ate.
Yeah, like, that's so cool. I think...
I was sitting back playing my guitar afterwards, and I'm like,
Ah.
I'd be okay with this.
Yeah,
If I was a free man.
I think that's so important for some people to live that life, is just
I think that's where
become homeless and understand the values of having
You
a
don't
home.
realize how much you've lost.
You go to a grocery
I mean,
store and you're just like, what the
you-
fuck?
you
All it's
become-
given.
Especially right before this, I was 19th floor apartment,
Right.
view of the entire city. I had it all.
Mm-hmm.
I had it all.
Right, like you were making money, I'm sure, like you had a job.
Oh yeah, I mean, just bought the phone that I have
Right.
and everything. And then going to that, dude, you realize that you take so many things for granted. The heat that you have. I
Oh, yeah.
became homeless in January. The first time I became homeless, I don't know if you remember this, before I went to the Army, it was -13 in December.
Oh.
And I was walking miles back and forth to the recruiting office before I went to the Army. And then I luckily got to come back home because I pulled my head out of my ass.
Mm-hmm.
But you realize how much you've lost and how much there is to gain.
Right.
You just... Luckily, the last time around, I had a Laura.
Right.
Just
I'm
something
really
to keep
thankful
you.
for
An
that
anchor.
woman.
An anchor.
Was there any surreal?
God was the anchor. She was wind in the sails. She is...
Right.
Was there any surreal moments like where you were like walking down the street and you're like, I'm really homeless. Like I don't have any.
There was times I just woke up. There's a concrete wall about yay wide,
Mm-hmm.
and it sits about that tall. Well, the sun hits it, it's nice and warm. So I lay there, take a nap, and I'm just sitting there.
And then you wake up and you realize
I'm
like,
like,
I'm
Dude.
sleeping on a concrete bed for warmth.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, this isn't it.
Yeah, like
there's
yeah,
gotta be
I'm-
more. This isn't how I'm gonna let my story go.
Mhm.
And you know, made mistakes, came up here, now trying to pay off debts is just
Yeah,
you
man.
realize how much you have. And you know, I miss driving my car because
You
what
just
happened.
missed the little
You
things.
you even know the story?
Of what?
So everybody else is gonna know this too. So what happened was we got this apartment, me and my roommate, and he brought a friend of his over. He said he was from Philly.
Okay.
Well, didn't think anything of it. That guy was known to, you know, smoke a little bit. And one day, lost my job at the shipyard. Okay. He's still working at the shipyard.
You might.
Still bringing money. We can make this.
Right.
Well, what I didn't know at the time, when I go drop him off the shipyard, he's turned back around, just going smoking pot, and he's not going to work. He lost his job 2 months
Oh,
ago.
he didn't tell you.
He didn't tell me.
Oh, that's shitty.
The next week, I'm going to an interview for a construction job. Didn't get the job. Wrecked my car. Totaled it.
Oh.
Well, I got $4,000 out of it, saved $3,600, so I could pay for a new car, this, that, and the other thing. Also realized my license was suspended at the same time. I go to church with my girl that Sunday, come back, they had a party. Guy from Philly was actually on the run, stole the money out of my briefcase and ran.
Wow.
The next month, my roommate ran off to Alabama, left me with the apartment. I'm now $7,000 in debt to that thing because they tore the place up. For
And
that
no
apartment.
job.
And no job.
And like when he says like they tore the place up, they fucked it up so he would
So he.
would get it all taken on him. Like didn't they like bust holes in the wall and like
There's holes shot in the wall
and like
from a
stuff
BB
toilet
gun.
paper in like the sinks so like the shit would just flood over. So
That
mold.
actually did happen. They stuffed everything. Burn marks. There was burn marks on my chair. There was burn marks in the carpet. It was brand new carpet when we got there.
Man, and how were
It
you
was
not
6
able to fight your case for like this dude? This wasn't.
I was primary owner of the apartment.
Oh.
He signed me as the primary.
Huh.
So everything fell on me without telling me, which is actually illegal. I could sue them for it because you have to know you're the primary.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure, but yeah,
But
And that was just a shit show, man.
it honestly was. It was. I didn't want that apartment. It was
Mhm.
it was $1,400 a month.
that's
Two
a lot.
people, $700 a month. Okay. Somebody loses their job, it's a problem. The other guy from Philly wasn't working. He was just getting money from his baby mama in
Right. And he
Philly.
was using that to buy pot.
Yeah.
Well,
Ah, man.
Mistakes were made on my part. I trusted the wrong people.
but it worked out. It wasn't the worst. If you wouldn't have went through that, you'd be in a different place.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
cemented in time for you to be sitting right here, right now. Because
Like-
who knows if you wouldn't have went through those obstacles.
If you didn't go
Dude.
homeless, you wouldn't have learned the values that you have now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If I didn't make the mistakes that I did, sad to say, because I wish I never did make them, I wouldn't have loved Alora as much as I do now.
Right.
I wouldn't have realized ever, even when we were married, how much that woman,
Truly does and mean for you.
how much she means for me.
And you have to see that vulnerability for like one time. You have to feel for weeks. Oh man, I really fucked up in this way or this way or this way, and then you just have to actually hold that weight of, oh, this is how I did this. This is how my heart affected her heart. God, let me never do that again.
Mm-hmm.
And then that type of impact instantly changes the game. You're looking at this person that you only were seeing like this, and then you really saw the value that they could have in your entire life.
Her light shined, and I was able to see her light only because of the darkness I was in. It just,
It was just
you know,
light at the end of the tunnel.
yeah, she wasn't light at the end of the tunnel. She was the torch I was able to hold while I'm going through
While
it.
you're going, yeah.
I mean, that light at the end of the tunnel is when we're married, we're in Tennessee, we're building our own home. What I have in my hand is something even more than that. It gives me warmth, it gives me hope, it gives me a whole bunch more than just the reward at the end of it. That
Right.
reward at the end of it would never happen if I never had that torsion to begin with? And guess what's going to be lighting up my home one of these days?
Right. And my question is, all right, so like, you were going through this. This is I think that's the definition of a rough period, right? And like that, you're learning.
Need a maxi pad for that.
Yeah, man. So, I guess.